Alrighty, so. Alright.
And the laughter begins. It actually never ended.
It never ended.
So, you know, last time y'all peeped us, and I say peeped because I feel like this is kind of us letting people peep on our natural play.
Yeah, like this
of who we are.
Really are. Like, there's no filters. This is, I guess, it's a peep into our lives.
Yeah. So we met because of this little ditty right here. See this little beautiful twosome? This is what you call psilocybin cubensis.
Mushrooms!
Psychedelic mushrooms and magic.
Mushrooms.
Funny enough, we actually haven't shared this medicine together.
No, we have not.
Yeah.
That experience is coming, for sure. And it hasn't happened because it's not ready yet. It's not the time yet. But when it's the time, it's gonna be the time.
When it's the time, it'll be divine time.
I was about to say, and there won't be any time.
Because ain't no time. You know the normalcy.
Yeah.
Ain't no time. It's always now.
Absolutely. So
we will roll when we roll.
Yeah, and it will be a rolling down a fucking hill.
And I've rolled down many hills. But rolling down a hill with you is gonna be a whole different hill. Might be a mountain. Anyway, Akeem, so I wanted to share some of my experiences with you on this particular medicine, but also more importantly, I wanted to hear from you your experience with this medicine and how it brought you to this juncture right now, sitting next to me.
Okay, so I think that all of my life, when you would mention like mushrooms or like psychedelics, I would never really embrace it because it was the white people thing to do. And I know a lot of people like that. But one day I actually opened myself up and I took the mushrooms. And what I experienced was a feeling that I've never felt before. And I think that for someone who's living this 9-to-5 life in such a structured way, to feel a feeling that I've never felt before is actually a really big deal. So I did that, and what I experienced was just, I experienced the trueness of myself, who I really was, and it's like when I did it, I knew it, and I also didn't understand how I knew. So that's how I kind of knew. So I did that, and it's like, all right, well, something's different. All right, something's different about life. Like, okay, what is this? So, and I remember doing it, and I told my friends, like, I'm never going to be the same after this, ever. And they will tell you, I said that, I'm never going to be the same after this. And so I kept doing it a few times, and it was mostly, the experiences were like, you know, it was like vivid, but mostly I was like laughing a lot. Just laughing and geeking at everything.
Your true nature.
Right. So like we said in the last video, so of course when I'm coming to LA, I'm understanding that there's way more access to this kind of thing out here. So again, I rang a friend and he hooked me up, and you know, I met up with Anne-Marie, and I can't really like say how exactly now how that's going to play a role because we're still living in it. But all I know is that me meeting with Anne-Marie started a whole whirlwind of things. And one experience I will share on psychedelic mushrooms was I did mushrooms with a friend. It was a girlfriend at the time. And what I can tell you is that she was not on this wave of like enlightenment and mushrooms and the far outness. I mean, she was open to it, so I guess that was enough. And when I did the mushrooms with her, something happened. And one, we began to communicate telepathically, which I've never done before, and that was crazy. But then also, she got on her knees while I was sitting on the bed, and she kneeled to me, and which was, again, crazy. She doesn't do shit like that. Like, why are you kneeling to me? And she's like, "You're a king." And when she said this, I just burst into tears. And she said, "You're a king, and you're here to illustrate." And I kept trying to ask her, like, you know, illustrate what? Illustrate what? And she was like, "I can't tell you that, but you're just here to illustrate." And what I'll tell you is that when I looked at her with my eyes closed, it was the most beautiful thing that I've ever seen. It's like I saw this glowing image of a woman, and she had like braids at the time, so her hair resembled a crown. And it was like, all right, there's something more to this. Like this is going to stretch me way beyond who I am right now. And that's one experience I want to share. Like, and honestly, I'm sure everyone listening, that's pretty a crazy experience for a woman to get on her knees and say you're a king, and you're here to illustrate, and all we did was take a piece of mushroom. So
she was like, Akeem, welcome to America.
Right, like I'm a true prince. Like I was really a king, like for real.
Let me throw some petals at you.
Yeah, and like this crazy
Like,
shit just started happening. We started communicating through our minds, and yeah, so mushrooms has played a vital role in who I am today. Very vital. Like I would not be who I am right now, at least at this moment, without mushrooms. Absolutely. And that is one of my more entertaining and powerful experiences. I have so many though to share, and I might share another one before we finish this. But yeah, that's my experience. So definitely, like, I want to hear your experience because again, she's the god. So, so hers is gonna be crazy. Like, but
well,
yeah.
Okay. Well, I've had so many experiences on this beautiful medicine. When I would say around my 27th year on this earth, I started taking mushrooms quite often.
What's quite often? What is quite often? Once a week, 2 times?
Every couple weeks at the time, and that was a long time ago. And I would test myself by going into places people would never think of going into on any kind of psychedelic. I would go sit in a bar and watch people and see, and it's interesting. I went to this bar in the valley called the Blue Room, and I remember walking in there and I could see, it was like it turned my brain and my senses into a scan. I was able to scan every person that my eyes blessed on and know where they were vibrationally in accordance to where I was. And out of all those people in that room at that bar, there was only one that had light on his face, and he was the only one that came and approached me, and we had a conversation. And he was talking about all the darkness in this particular place. And mind you, I don't frequent bars generally. I'm not a drinker, so I'm at a bar not really drinking, pretending, fronting, just because I'm having my own little experiment, social experiment, and I sat in this chair in the middle of all these people, and I realized how blessed I am, how strong I am to be able to sit there and hold it together. Because sometimes when you see in things that you're not used to seeing, the body reacts in different ways. You might just want to run, bust out into tears, start laughing. The laughing is something else, because sometimes being on mushrooms, you see the ridiculous in yourself and the people in front of you, and just the whole scenario of how we have entrapped ourselves in the rat race, the human race. And I call it the rat race, and as many people do, because we've been put in a maze of corruption to chase an illusion that we'll never catch.
Damn.
So the thing is that actually all you gotta do is really just look in the mirror, and that's really where you're going. Back to yourself.
And the mushrooms will show you that.
And the mushrooms showed me this, And so as life progressed, and I used this here and there, this mushroom, I would do it once a year, twice a year, when I would go to different festivals and things. But I started having more reverence for this, more respect for the plant medicines in my life, and I started sharing that with people that would come into my life, you know, especially younger ones, you know, that want to just take this as a party favor. This is not a party favor, and I don't condone just anybody going out and buying mushrooms and doing mushrooms just because. The thing is, it's like, do your research, find out, read about it, read about the medicines, read about the compounds in this fungus. You know, it is a fungus.
Yes.
So learn, you know, listen to YouTube other people's experiences. You know, I'm not trying to say scare yourself or put yourself in a situation where you're thinking too much about it, but have respect and reverence for anything you're about to put in your body.
So you just got to be fully aware. That's all. You need to be fully understanding of all the bad that could happen or all the great things that can happen, and then engage it from there.
Well, if you're in a bad space, just know this medicine is going to push you deeper so you could come out the other end.
Absolutely.
So you could break free of that bad space.
Absolutely.
So then your mind has to understand that it is just medicine and you can get out of that space. So a lot of people have meltdowns, breakdowns, they throw up, they do all these flail outs. And also, when you start delving into the spirit world like this, you know, if you have the right guidance with you, you know, you could really uncover and unlock some things in your psyche that's going to enhance your experience as a human while you're here. You know, and it could just be one time or two times you decide to do mushrooms in your life, you know, and it changes your life. And you don't have to revisit it, but when you actually know the value and you see what and how it has affected you, you know, you may try it a few more times
A lot more times.
A lot more times, or maybe a less. Maybe you can't handle yourself, but also, you know, when we open ourselves up like that in spirit space, there's also a lot of other elements. You know, there's a lot of spirit play, and a lot of other spirits come and are present with us. And actually, let me rephrase that. They don't come. They're here.
Right.
We just usually can't see them.
Right.
So now we're at a frequency where our eyes can attune to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally, I'm open and welcome to see who wants me to see them.
Mm.
And a lot of times I have experienced energies that have been attached to attachment is not the word. Energies that felt like Christ consciousness. Energies that felt like Ganesh. Energies that felt like dolphin energy. Arcturian energy. Arcturians are starseed brethren that happen to be part of my intrinsic DNA. And I have a feeling Akeem is Arcturian as well.
Message! Dropping gems.
So, I mean, you know, as far as the shroom scene, I have to say, with everything, you wanna approach everything with reverence and respect. Respect is the big word of the day for me, I feel.
Yeah, and
respect for all things and people and each other.
Because you want to go into it positively, and you want to go into it divinely, and because it raises your frequency. When you do the mushrooms, it raises your frequency point blank, and you're more susceptible, and you're more, like you said, open to experience things that you wouldn't have seen before. And I also shared another shroom experience that was very symbolic, very recent as well. I aligned with someone, an Uber passenger, and he's really into dolphins and aquamarine and all that kind of stuff. And so, of course, he shows up with a dolphin shirt on and a dolphin necklace. Because again, it's just like the alignment and the synchronicity is just so crazy. So he does that. We're on the beach, and you know, long story short, one of two things happened. One, we began to see fins and dolphins, but they wouldn't come up out the water. So, mind you, on this room experience, I say, show yourselves. No lie, the dolphins come out the water. So I just run around the beach because this is ridiculous. Like for me to say, show yourselves, and like it's a fucking movie, and they just so they come out.
Because
So
that's what kings do.
Hey.
Kings command.
Hey.
Show yourself.
I like it. Absolutely.
Show me your hand.
So then a woman walks up to us and she's asking us questions, normal stuff, what you guys doing out here? How long you been out here? All right, whatever. But then she starts like digging deeper, and we're just kind of like, why are you here? Like, what do you want? So before she leaves, she says, hey, let's be friends on Instagram. And so we were like, we're giving her the phone. Her Instagram name is Dolphin Stephanie 88. Also, behind her, dolphins were coming out of the water. So I share that to say, mushrooms brings about a reality that is so unreal that you have not experienced. So what does that say about the reality that we're actually in?
It's called the vortex. Mushrooms have a way of showing you the door to the vortex and how to stay there. So it's not about you doing mushrooms all the time. So as soon as you figure out
That doorway,
and you start figuring out how to stay there without the aid of the mushrooms.
That's the point of the mushrooms. That's the point. It's for you to feel that feeling.
Well,
that
then
vortex.
you're there. Then it's now. Then it's all now.
Yeah.
But what are you drinking in that cup? I want to sip.
I am drinking a tea that was made by a god. Someone who makes tonics and elixirs. What was in it?
No, Hoshu and Reishi. Another mushroom.
More mushrooms. I'm drinking mushrooms, basically. Drinking mushrooms. But yeah, I guess for me in closing, like, mushrooms needs to be embraced. It is something that is showing you and pointing you to a higher space in yourself, and it is not to be feared in any way. And if you're in fear, then you're just in denial of what you need to uproot.
Well, if you're in fear, then you're not ready yet.
Well, I guess if you're in fear, you wouldn't even encounter the damn mushrooms to begin with. So.
Well, yeah. Well, it don't show itself till you're ready for it.
Absolutely.
And so.
I guess I was talking more about like when you're in the experience, and something happens that's negative or bad. Some people.
Or you see a boogie monster or something.
Yeah, it's like maybe you were just a boogie monster in your past life or some shit. I don't know. Hey, you need to get over it. Like, I don't know.
Boogie monster.
I don't know. But yeah, please.
You have to, boogie monsters show up in mushroom trips too. But it's the boogie monsters in your head. It's the shit that you've been programmed with by all these people.
I'm thinking you actually saw the boogie monster because I really want to know how he looks.
Oh, no, I don't know how he looked, but... Well, actually, I saw... When I was on ayahuasca, I saw this boogie monster, or this boogie man at the beginning of that particular medicine trip, because there's a lot of puking involved with this one, and so I threw up into this trash can, and whatever was in the trash can came back at me like it wanted to bite me, and I was like, oh shit. And then I was like, wow. And when I was finished purging, or when the purging came to an end, the monster calmed down. And so that made me feel that whatever it is that was inside of me that I purged out of me was the monsters. It was the poison. So that's the programming in my head that showed it to me as a monster, as a figurative monster.
Yeah.
So thank God that was just in the trash can.
Mushrooms are also very poetic. Especially like people throw up bad, like people literally throw up history. Like you're literally throwing up like experiences that needs to come out, and it comes out in the form of vomit. I've seen it. Like I also another.
You see poetic vomit?
Yeah, like I'm with my homie, and I won't say her name, but when she sees it, she'll laugh. And we did the mushrooms, and she's just throwing up outside the car. She throw up and come back and then laugh. Throw up, laugh, and I'm just like, you're really just literally just clearing, and it felt good to her. It felt good. Like it felt good.
Well, I'm gonna tell you all a little excerpt from a really Hold on. What can I say about this? It changed my life, okay? This particular trip, because it was on 12/12/12 in Joshua Tree. And I made chocolate medicine for this experience. Mushrooms. With some other beautiful soul family at the time. And it was one of the most beautiful activations I've ever had. And especially the space, Joshua Tree was probably one of the most magical places for me on this planet. And I haven't been everywhere yet.
Yeah.
But I have to tell you, something about it just makes me feel like I'm home. And home is not necessarily on this planet. So, but home is wherever I'm at. So I make myself at home wherever I'm sitting. And I'm at home right now talking to you guys. I'm talking to Akeem, King Akeem, Prince Akeem. Anyway, so this prince is already a king. Anyways, so back to Joshua Tree and 12/12/12. I saw some aliens, y'all.
Hey, they exist.
They exist.
Oh my God.
And the other people that were with me saw what I saw. And we'll tell you that in another story, and I'll get deeper on that.
Well, just say how you felt when you saw
How I felt.
How'd you feel?
Okay, so first to begin with, I felt actually really calm. At first I was kind of like,
probably because
what
you
the
realized
hell?
you were one of them. But go ahead.
Well, I felt kind of nervous because it came in the form of a mist. So it was, and it shaped itself into a dragon. But you knew it was another being because it was resonating at a different frequency. And it descended upon us, and it let us know that it was peaceful. And then as it kind of just adapted around us energetically, a sense of peace came over me, and it was beautiful because it was a communication with me and another being. I can't speak for my soul family that happened to be there, what their personal experience was, but one particular lovely one that was there, I feel like she felt the peace and the harmony and understood the feeling of this different being vibrating at a different frequency. So it had to show itself to us in this particular form so we wouldn't be afraid.
Like, freak out, yeah.
And it showed itself, and there were thousands of them in the sky that night because it was a really epic night for Gaia, and all the people that were looking, out into the stars with telescopes, and everybody that was following the Mayan calendar and what people thought was going to happen and what didn't happen, and all the programming. Again, it was programming, and we were just open to experiencing ourselves with each other and kind of what happened, meeting and experiencing a different being. And I can't say it was a ghost. No. It was not a ghost.
Just something on a different frequency.
Just something on a different frequency.
There's just so much more to life and existence. I just want you guys to know that. It'll never stop. So for us to be stagnant in your life, I'm not saying you're behind because there's no direction, but just know that there's more. And I really want everyone who sees this to experience more. Yes, touch me, bless me. Seriously, please. And I'm not saying you have to do mushrooms to experience the more out of life, but what I'm saying to you is it's a one-way ticket to get there. It's a ticket. Why not take it? But when you're ready.
Well, when you're ready, yeah.
Well,
like I said, yeah, when you're ready. If you're ever gonna be ready. You know. Yeah. Some people are gonna go through this experience, this human experience, without ever you know,
Yeah.
blessing themselves with this, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
Because I need those people around. Because not everybody needs to be on this cray.
Right, I was gonna say.
And I'm not trying to say we
Cloud
cray,
13.
but you know, it takes all of us.
We just need there has to be a healthy balance. That's all.
Yeah, so I say so. And that reishi tonic you're drinking, you need to put more of that in your body
Okay.
on an everyday basis.
How is that beneficial? for me?
Because it opens your heart and it's good for your lungs and it's amazing for your liver. And my favorite part about the reishi mushroom, it's the heart medicine. You know, you might be sitting down minding your own business tomorrow, and all of a sudden the breeze blow, and next thing you know,
I just cried.
a tear just start coming
That's
down.
normal, though.
I just cried.
That's normal, like telling you.
And I just cry, and then you're like, how beautiful
The breeze.
the breeze.
It feels so good on my skin.
I usually feel like, whoa.
Wow.
I feel the breeze. When I feel a nice warm breeze, it makes me feel the idea of what I think in my head is Christ consciousness. You know, it's like, wow, somebody just kissed me. It's so beautiful and so delicate, and it's transcendent when you pay attention to it.
And I just want to share
When you
something.
notice it.
When you said Christ consciousness, we have a timer here in front of us. It said 555. I just want you to know that. I saw it. So.
Oh, wow. Okay.
555 is the angel number for Christ consciousness, if you didn't know. So, again, you know, the synchronicity and it's just wild out here. Not out here like in LA, but just in these higher frequencies. I guess like these.
It's pretty wild out here. We in Beverly Hills,
Well, yeah, I mean,
hanging out
in
across
general,
from the Beverly Hills Hotel.
Yeah, in general, it's wild out here. But you know, when you begin to indulge into these different frequencies and just diving deeper into yourself, you just begin to see the oneness in life, and it'll show you the oneness in life.
Yeah, sacred geometry. It's
Another
part
video.
of the oneness. Another
Yeah.
video.
Another video.
All right.
But other than that,
All right, y'all. We will catch y'all on the flip side.
yes. In the next video, I don't know what that would be, but the source will tell us what it is.
Yes, and Annie Love here.
Akeem Griffey.
Akeem.
And we out.
And we out.
All right.
Oh my God.